Earlier this morning, coming into the centre, and we're on the Champs-Élysées at the moment with the Arc de Triomphe behind us. There were roadblocks all around the central area, cars not being allowed through. We've been searched many times. A lot of the gilets jaunes, the yellow jackets, were in this area. Just behind me, there's a few still milling around, but they're busy heading off to another location of Opéra, where they're going to be gathering. But this street on any weekend, and especially just before the festive period, is normally humming with people, with shoppers. Let's just show you what is happening at the moment, because it is really quite desolate. A lot of the high-end stores here have been completely boarded up, and this goes all the way down the Champs-Élysées. So apart from it being major political unrest across Paris and across the country, because there were also demonstrations in Bordeaux and Toulouse and Saint-Étienne and in Marseille, it's hitting business as well. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was in a restaurant that I know a few kilometres away last night, and the restaurateur, who's always very chatty, he has a restaurant in town at Opéra where the demonstrations are going to be taking place later today, and he reckons his business is down by about 70% over the last 5 weeks. Not just Parisians, but also people who normally come into Paris, come into France at this time of year to do their shopping, to spend time before the Christmas period. It's hitting business, it's hitting politics, and it's still ongoing. Although, bear in mind that the heat has come off somewhat, and compared to 7 days ago, there are not as many people on the streets of Paris. The police reckon about 2,000 collectively are here this weekend, and they're being outnumbered by about 8,000 police at present.
Well, Francis, there has been violence on the streets of France for several weeks now, so it sounds like it's dying down a bit.
Well, it is. There's a couple of factors. Of course, obviously, President Emmanuel Macron speaking to the nation a few days ago and giving some concessions, which for many of these people, many of the yellow jackets we've spoken to and have been speaking over the last few days, maybe, if not too little, they're certainly coming a bit too late. He was saying, look, a lot of this is my fault. He also said that a lot of the problems and the concerns dated back many, many years, and he was going to sort a few things out, and he did make some major concessions, including the primary one, or the one that started all this, the final thing that annoyed so many people, which was the imposition of a tax on fuel to try and move France to a more cleaner fuel system. But that has taken the heat off somewhat, but it hasn't taken the anger away from a lot of people. We were hearing an awful lot of chants for Macron to be to resign earlier on today and to leave. The other factor, of course, is what happened in Strasbourg a few days ago, with the security services obviously still on something of full alert, because this is a city, this is a country that has seen terrorist attacks before. And of course, what has happened in the past, certainly in Paris, is that when there's been one, there has been other problems a few days later. So they've asked people not to protest as much, or to bear in mind that they have to deal with that issue as well. So things definitely have changed, but it is 5 weekends running now that people have come into Paris wearing these yellow jerseys, protesting at a number of issues.